All right. So good evening, and this is Femolicious. Now, briefly, I want to put us through on how to use the Harmonic scanner using a strategy that is called um, quick fire strategy. So just go on with me briefly. All right. So let me share my screen. You might need to take some notes, and you can post your questions along the way if you're not getting what I'm saying. So let me share my screen with us. Okay. I would need to know if you can see my screen. I need to know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Please use the chat box. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, fine. I just wanted to be sure you can see that screen. All right, so the first place you want to go is to your Forex factory. To your Forex factory, that's where you want to go first. And you can get that by going to www.forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com to check the news for each day. So this is my own Forex factory. All right. Now the way I set my own Forex factory, I set it in such a way that it shows me only the low impact news, something like this, low impact. It shows me something like this, medium impact, and it also shows me something like this, high impact news. And today is Friday, March 16th. So these are news trays that will affect currencies for today. And presently, this is about 5:29 p.m. Nigerian time. And you see that the highest news so far has happened about 3 p.m. So I usually take my own trades beginning from the midnight. So normally I will have avoided this pair before 5:30 a.m. I wouldn't have traded it. I will have avoided these pairs as at these times of the day. But now, using this time that we are discussing, the major serious news for the day has gone. So I can actually confidently take trades without stress. With that being said, I will now go back to Harmonic scanner. I believe you can see the screen. Please, I need you to respond if you can see my screen now. If you can see the Harmonic scanner screen, I need you to respond now. Just respond using the chat box. If you can see my screen, I will verify. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So look at this now. The first thing you want to set is that. Okay, just a minute. All right. So the first thing you want to say, I believe you can see all this take profit 3, take profit 2, blah 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 blah. Just a minute, please. Okay. So you can see all these take profits here on this left hand side of the market. So the next thing you want to do is here you'll be seeing the broker's name, which is Hot Forex here. You'll be seeing the pair, which is Euro JPY. You'll be seeing the time frame, which is 15, and you'll be seeing the design of that pattern, which is a shark pattern. So basically, another thing you want to check after checking the news trade for the day, another thing you want to check is how will I put it now? This side of the page. Now this side, any time you see your parameters and your take profit prices are above the entry prices, then that means this market is a buying market. Anytime you check this side of your Harmonic scanner and you're seeing your take profit prices above entry price or above entry prices as the case may be, then that means that the market is a buying market. And in situations like that, the pattern you'll be seeing will look like an M, the letter M for monkey. So that's what we're seeing here. And if it was the other way around, that is, if it is a sell market, your take profit prices will be below your entry price. It will be below your entry price, and this pattern will be something that looks like a W. So for me, I usually don't use this to judge. As long as I know where my take profit prices are, I already know where my market is going. So now, without wasting more time, we have already checked Forex Factory and we have seen that we are free to take currencies for the rest of the day. So the next thing I want to do, I can actually work with this guy now, but let me just teach us some basic things we need to know. Now, for our conditions to be met, we need to set our indicators. So you come to this side where my cursor is. Please, you can post your questions along the way so that I would attend to them if you have issues. So just a minute. I want to be seeing your questions while I'm going on in case there's a need for me to get that. All right. Okay, so you come to your indicators, tap on it. Now the first indicator I need is my Bollinger Bands. So I'll tap on Bollinger Band there once, and you'll be seeing that it has shown at this side of your page. It has shown here. So I want to go and set my Bollinger Bands now. So basically what you're seeing is BB, which is Bollinger Bands, and this default setting you met here is 20 against 2. But for this quick fire strategy, you need 50 against 2 for a start. So I'm setting it by going to that format and change that 20 to 50 against 2. Now I'll come to the style and remove the plots background. And the next thing I want to do is to set this as my default. Set it as default and click OK. So when that is done, you can see all these jaga things here, but that's okay. Now after setting this, I want to set 4 more Bollinger Bands at different points. To just like this is laying a foundation for a 5-story building or for a 4-story building. So now I'll come back here and click on my indicators and click on Bollinger Bands 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it makes 5 Bollinger Bands. You can see it here that now our Bollinger Bands are like 5. Let me see. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want to set the other Bollinger Bands. I come back to my inputs and change this one to 2.5. Remember that the first one is 2.0. So this one will be 2.5. I OK it, bam. You come here, pick the next one. You change this to 3. I OK it, bam. Come to the next one, format, change it to 3.5. 3.5, you OK it, bam. And the last one will be the one that ends with a 4. So I change my mount to 4 and OK it, bam. So I have my 5 Bollinger Bands well set. I have my Bollinger Bands well set. I can come to this side of the screen to expand it a little. You can see what I'm doing there. Expand it a little. So by doing this, what you just need to do is move your cursor to that side, then press the left click, I don't know, of your mouse, and you can drag it up or down here. But if this is not enough to help my judgment, I will then come to use the zoom side of it, but we'll get to that later. Let's just continue with the basics. Now I have set my, just a minute. I don't know, I think I saw you post something else. I need to check that. Where did you split the BB? Where did I split it into 5? Okay, the same place here. I don't know if you're seeing it now. I came back to the indicator where I picked it the first time. I came back to the indicator, tapped on the indicator. It brought the list of the list of indicators to me. Remember that I picked the first one. I actually picked one which is supposed to be my foundation. After having set the default to 50 against 2. Okay, let me just do like I want to add one more one more Bollinger Bands, but I'll delete it. So I'll just tap on Bollinger Bands now. Bam. I see that it has added another one. Now, if you check these Bollinger Bands here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can move. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, I believe you can see it now. You see that the BB is now showing 50 against 2. That's because I've already set the foundation to be 50 against 2. Sure, you understand? So originally, okay, let me delete everything and start that part all over again so that you get it. But please, I need you to follow it carefully now. So this is like I'm starting all over again. We come to your indicator here. I believe you can see indicator showing here now. Please, you can see this indicator. Please say yes. Type yes rather. You can see the indicators. Type yes. Type yes. Let's make it snappy. Can you see the indicator? Yeah, okay. So you tap on the indicator, it will bring a drop down, and that drop down, you see Bollinger Bands there. I believe you can see this now. I will tap on it once as a start. Tap on it once, and it has come to this side to come and drop the Bollinger Bands for me. And this is the Bollinger Bands. This is the upper Bollinger Band, and this one below it is the lower Bollinger Band. Let me make that clearer. This is the lower Bollinger Bands where my hand is, my cursor is now, is the lower Bollinger Bands, and this is the upper Bollinger Bands. But I have only set one, and because I've originally set the default to 50 against 2, normally what you'll have met is 20 against 2, not 50 against 2. This is what will have come with your system. So but the way to now set that is you come to this are the places where you work with. This one at the center is what you need to reset your points on the BB. So you tap on it to format, and you change it to 50 against 2. After having done that, you click on style, and originally this guy will have been like this originally. So you come to remove the plots background. After removing the plots background, you now click on default here and click on save as default. When you click on save as default, then you click OK. I believe you understood it to that point, sir. Please respond if you understood it to that point. Say I understand. I understand. If you got it to that point, let's move on. I'm recording this thing so that we can move on. If you understand, say I understand. Okay, yes. All right. So, and we need 4 more Bollinger Bands. So I'll come back to the indicators the way I started. I'll come back here, click for it to give me a drop down, and this time around I will tap the Bollinger Bands 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, having tapped it 4 more times, it has made my Bollinger Bands here to be 5. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 Bollinger Bands, and all of them are carrying the foundational default setting, which is 50 against 2 that I have set. But I need to change them. It is only the first one, which is the foundation, that will carry 50 against 2. The other ones is like building 4-story building. Definitely you set your foundation before you start the first floor. So I'll come to my first floor, click on format, and click on input this time around, and change it to 50 against 2.5. Then this time around, just click OK. Right? Now, I go to the third one, I click the format again, and change this one to 50 against 3, and OK it. Next one, you go to 50 against 3.5, you OK it. And the last one, you go to 50 against 4. Against 4, you OK it too. So I believe you understood it to this point. If you understood it, say 1, 1, 1. If you understood it, just type 1. Let's move on before our time runs out. We still have a lot to cover. Yep. So now you'll be seeing this is 1 Bollinger Band, 2, 3. In fact, if you count it, let me try to zoom it so that it will look clearer to you. All right. So you can see now that the Bollinger Bands are now 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see them now? So we have 5 bands already. Now, I said it earlier that you will come to this side of the screen and press your left cursor to adjust the size here. And I also said when your take profit prices are above your entry price, when your take profit prices are above your entry price, it is a buy market. When your take profit prices are below your entry price, it's a sell market. Now, having done that, we want to now start using the indicators to judge, but we have not even finished adding the indicators. The next indicator I want to work on is my RSI. So this one has come by default to the page. So you just come here and change your default setting from 14, you change it to 7. You change it to 7. Do you have that one? You change it to 7 and click OK. Right? Now you click OK. And the next one you want to add is the stochastic. So I'll come back to the indicators, click on indicators and type stochastic. Here, it brings a list to me. I tap on stochastic. It will automatically add it to the table for me. You can see it here already. If you can see the stochastic, type 2. You can see the stochastic and the RSI, type 2. You can see the stochastic and RSI, type 2. Hello. You can see stochastic and RSI, type 2. Okay, are you still there? Is this your own 2? Yeah, which way is it? All right. So you come to the settings here now. We have changed the settings for RSI to 7. You change the one for stochastic. You change it to 1433. 1433. Try to set it in one way. 1433. Okay. So you okay it too. Now you have set those guys in place. So now we can now go and start working with our confirmation tools. So the first thing we want to look at is we are interested in this guy, this D point. We are interested in this guy. So for us to get the picture well, I'll come to my zoom. You can see zoom here. I hope you're still seeing my screen. I'll come to this zoom, tap on it, and I tap on it. I will now bring it to this side, press my left cursor and drag it up or down to expand that page for me. I'll drag it up or down to expand the page for me. I need this region to be expanded. Just a minute, please. All right. Now, you see that this is where my D candle actually is. But when the thing was still low, you'll have assumed that your D candle is this blue candle. But it's actually this red candle. It's actually that red candle. So, yeah, let's make it a little clearer now. Oh, the market has refreshed though. I'm looking at Euro JPY. Sorry. Okay. That would make me to go the other way. Now, if you look at this side I am now, this is where the brokers are. This side are where the brokers are. So let me come back to just a minute, please. I'm actually also pulling somebody here. Just a minute. So now, just a minute, please. So this is Euro JPY. This is Euro JPY here. Now, if you look at this place, the number one condition we need to set up is that is our D candle, this red candle here for this. You can see that the currency pair here is Euro JPY at M15 and is a sharp. Now, in sharp patterns, you would always have two entry prices. You always have two entry prices, and your candle, your D candle should. The first condition and the most important condition is that is your D candle touching or crossing any of the entry lines. Now, if it is not touching or crossing any of the entry lines, don't even bother yourself by considering that particular pair, regardless of what Harmonic scanner is saying. Don't consider it. You're seeing, you said yours is a crab. Okay. Now you come to this side of the page. Now, obviously, I'm dealing with Euro JPY, and obviously this guy is not touching any of my entry lines, so I'm not even ready to consider this market yet. So I'll come back to my broker side and click on my broker. I hope you're still seeing it. Now, I want to scan for 15 minutes candles. I want to scan for this. Now, remember that I'm already free based on my news table to make some more trades today. So let's try NZD pad. So I'm picking NZD card 15 minutes and it's a crab. So I'll pick this and the system will generate a pattern for it. It's going to scan it and bring up a pattern for me. Now, as you can see it now, You can see that it has formed a pattern, and this pattern is showing me something that looks like an M, and also it has an entry line, and my take profit points are above my entry line. My take profit points are above my entry line. So this is obviously a buy market. Are you getting it now? It is obviously a buy market. Now, this is my D candle here. Can you see my D candle? My D candle is a blue candle, and it's the number one condition is this candle touching or crossing the entry line? Please, I need to know what you're seeing. Is it crossing or touching the entry line? Yes, very good. Now, condition 1 has been met. Are you seeing your D candle? Where's your D candle? Drag your cursor to that D candle. That is your F. You can see that your line is crossing it. So this candle is crossing your entry line, that green line is crossing it, because the tail of that candle is crossing it, and that tail is also part of that candle, because that means that price has reached that place before. So it's already touching it, and condition 1 has been met. You said you can't hear me again. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So I can continue, right? Type continue if you can hear me now. Type continue if you can hear me. Okay, fine. So my D candle is crossing my entry line. The wick is crossing my entry line. The reason why I'm considering that is because for the wick to be showing, that means price has gotten to that level before and it was shifted up. So this candle has met condition number 1. Are you getting it now? The next condition is that same D candle, is it touching or crossing any of the Bollinger Bands, any of the 5 Bollinger Bands? So what's your response? Is it crossing any of the Bollinger Bands? That same D candle, is it crossing any of the Bollinger Bands? Yes or yes? I need answers. Yes or yes? Is your D candle crossing any of the Bollinger Bands? NZD card, is it touching or crossing any of the Bollinger Bands? Mine is touching. What are you seeing here? This 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one is there. It's just not showing. Because if you see from my own screen here, it's, come and see my own screen. See, my D candle is touching this guy here. It's touching. So condition 2 has been met. Can we move on from there? Now, the next thing is we now want to come and check our RSI. We want to now check our RSI. Just a minute, please. We want to check our RSI. So you can see the line, this dotted line on, just a minute. Just a minute, please. Okay, so let me move on. All right. So you can see my dotted line that the cursor has drawn. Now, for a buy market, the D candle must either be below or be touching this line 30. This dotted line, this horizontal dotted line, is called line 30. It's called, like, if you look at this, the right hand side of this page now, you've seen that this is showing 30. This is 30, line 30. I don't know if you're seeing that. It's showing line 30 here at this extreme here. You can see the price here is, the line here is line 30. Now, this one on top here is line 70. You can see 70.486. Add stochastic. Just a minute, please. Maybe it's on the first one. Let me continue because the time. Let's just continue with this one first. So the candle I'm considering in this situation is this D candle, and at the point where it is touching this RSI, which is the relative strength index, if you look at this side of the page, you'll be seeing something like 29 here. So I want you to watch this figure at the time I move my cursor back to the D candle. And what's it showing us? It's showing us 33.29. So it's already above the line 30. So that is not totally meeting our condition. It's supposed to be touching it or to still be below it for a buy. It's either below it, that is to say it is oversold, or it is touching it. Are you getting the ball? You can still move on. At least our condition number 3 is not well met, even though it's still around it, but it's not well met. So we'll move on now. The next thing we want to consider is our stochastic. Are we together? So stochastic, now you look at the figures too, where we saw the figure for RSI showing 33.29. Look at the side of your stochastic. I mean this point here, this side here. So I'm going to drag my cursor again so that you now trace it down. You can see that your stochastic in this case is showing 12.48 and also 7.67. And you are, in this case, you're looking at a buy market, so it is the blue line we are looking at. So your blue line is below line 20. Your blue line is below line 20. For a buy, your blue line or any of your lines must be below line 20 for a buy, or it should be touching line 20. So in this case, it is below. So stochastic has met our condition. Candle D has met the entry line condition and has also met the Bollinger Bands condition. So we already have 3 out of 4 conditions already met. Please, if you understood it to that point, I need you to say something. If you understood it to that point, please say something. If you understood it to that point, please say something. Hello? Okay. Yes, something. Okay. All right, so let me move on. Now, the next thing we want to check is there a divergence in this particular market? Now, on a normal day, if all the 4 conditions I've talked about already, if they are met, or 3 over 4 of those conditions are met, this market is good to go. But for more confirmation, we want to check if there's a divergence on this particular market, just to give us 101% assurance that the market is a good one. Now, you come to this side of the page. I believe you can see this side, and you tap on the arrow in front of it, this small arrow. Tap on it, and to bring down a list for you. Now, I need the vertical line. So I'll click on vertical line and come to my D candle. Come to my D candle and tap on it. So that D line is what is showing up there. You can see now I can increase the width of that line for clarity. Let me use something a little bigger. All right. And I can change the color here. Let's say I use, let me use this color. Okay. So you can see my line on the D candle. I come back again, trace it down to my RSI. Trace that same line. Then this time around, I will now come to my X candle. My X candle here. I'll come to my X candle. I don't know if you can see this well, but let me try to zoom it up so that it will be a little clear. You can see this tiny guy, this tiny candle, blue candle here, very, very tiny one around this point. That is my X candle. So I'll also draw a line across it and trace it to my RSI. Now, we want to get a divergence out of this. Now, if you look at this page, there's a tiny blue line that is coming down where you can see this 1.758. It's coming down, down, down to come and touch the X. Just a minute. To come and touch the D candle. That line, tiny line here, it starts from, let me see if I can hide this guy so that you will see it clearly. I can see you have said something, but let me just check. Now, you can see this blue line that came all the way down to D. That is showing a line of divergence. Now, to be very sure, I've already seen a divergence here, but let me just prove it to you. So I'll come here again and click on trend line. Click on trend line and bring that cursor to where this red line, this vertical line is touching my RSI. I will drag it to where it is, tap on it once. After tapping on it, I will draw my line. So I will draw my line. I believe you're seeing this line I'm moving. I will draw my line. I'm beginning to feel maybe my time is almost up. But let me just manage. I draw it till it touches the same RSI line on the D vertical line. Now, let me make this a little thick. Let me make it a little thick for us to be very sure of what we're doing. Now, consider this blue line that comes down and this line that came here. Is there a divergence? Yes or no? I need your response. Is there a divergence here? Divergence means is either the line one is going up, the other one is going down. Now, in this case now, the divergence from this chart is going down. The line came downwards. On my RSI, it's going the opposite way. It is going upwards. So the two of them are opposites. Somebody just came in. Who do we have there? Is this still one person? Okay. I hope you have not missed too much because I've started talking about divergence. Sorry, the long line is not showing on my own screen. Which of the long line? The vertical long line or the diagonal long line? Which of the long lines is not showing on the screen? Which of the long lines is not showing? Please respond so that we'll know what to do. Which of the long line is not showing on your screen? My network just disappeared. Okay, sorry about that. Let me rush over it for you. Now, I would clean this guy off. And I'll clean this guy off. I tap on that particular line, it will bring me this tray, so I delete it from here. I come here to tap on this line to bring the tray up, I delete it from here. Let me tap on this guy and remove it. So I will rush over that place because I'm beginning to feel my time might be almost up. So we have gotten 3 out of our 4 conditions already met. But like I said, if 3 over 4 is met, it is still good to go as long as your entry line and the candle D are touching themselves. So we are good to go. Now, I want to now get if there's a divergence in this case or not. There is a divergence in this case or not. So I'll come to this side of the page. I hope you're still seeing it now. Please let me know if you're seeing it before I continue. Please let me know if you're seeing it now before I continue. Okay. You said you can't see the horizontal and the vertical dotted line. Okay, I'm starting all over now, so you'll be able to see it now. All right. So to get a divergence, remember my candle D is here. So I hope you can still see. Okay, let me move it a little away so that you can see. You can see my candle D here. Sir, can you see my candle D? This dotted line that crossed through. I hope you can see it. All right, so I'll come to this side of the page. I'll come to this side of the page and pick on vertical line. Click on vertical line and drag it to my candle D and place, oh sorry, I placed that on RSI. I'll go back to the same link and come and place it on my D candle. And you see that they are connecting themselves already. Now, let me move it a little. This is my X candle. You can see a very small candle around there. Very tiny guy around there. That is my X candle. So I'll come and click on the same guy here and drop it on it. Then go to my RSI, link it from there too. I hope you understood it to that point. So now, if you look at it, I intentionally removed the Bollinger Band so that you can see this particular line where the 1.758 is drawn. You can see the line starting from X and going to connect with D. That line is coming down from X to go and connect with D. I don't know if you're understanding that. It goes to X and draws downwards diagonally to touch D. So to know a divergence, the direction of the direction of the diagonal line on the chart, the main chart, which is where the BB is, must be opposite that of the RSI. So if the direction of that line on the chart is going downwards, the one from RSI will go the opposite way. That is when there is a divergence. So let's see if we can get that now. I'll come back to this side of the page. I'll come back to this side of the page and click on trend line and bring my trend line to the point where my vertical line I drew here is touching the RSI. And this is at that point. Tap it. Now you now drag that same line to go and connect with the D candle. Sorry, please. All right. So I'll move it till it connects with the RSI on the D candle there. So if you compare this line and this line here, is there a divergence? Yes or no? Please, I need your response. Is there a divergence? Yes or no? Response. Is there a divergence? Hello. I hope you're still there. You said no? Okay, let's look at it again. This tiny blue line, let me see if there's a way I can adjust it. Or, let me do this. Now, this blue line here, and this our brown line, they are going in opposite directions. Now, if that line continues like that, they are supposed to meet and form a point. This guy is going from up here downwards to D. This guy on the same point is going from here up to this. There's a divergence, sir. A very, very big and clear divergence. I hope you can understand what I mean by divergence now. Comparing this guy, this blue line, comparing it to this brown line, they are going in opposite direction to themselves. One is facing up, the other one is also facing up the other way. This is what I mean. From your X point here, this line is coming down to D. And on the same RSI, it's coming from down to up here. So that makes us have a divergence. I hope you now understand what I mean by a divergence now. Do you agree that there's a divergence now, or you don't? Oh, you're saying you're not seeing the blue line. Oh, it's just a little tiny. But just look at my cursor presently. Look at my cursor now. Look at my cursor. I don't know if I can. There's a way I can. Oh, very good. Let me see if I can change the color of that. Fine. I think I'll be able to do some magic. I don't know if you see, the thing is not giving me chance. But let me try again. Just look at it now. I will change that blue color to, I'll change it to brown. Can you see it? Can you see it now? So you can see that there's a divergence. I don't know if you were able to see. The thing is not permitting me to change it because it is by default, it has been programmed. So I want to know if you saw what I just did briefly. I'm going to try it for the last time so that you get it. This line from this point X to point D here. That's what we are looking at. You see that your X is up and your D is down. Now on RSI, your X is down and your D is up. So I'm going to try to put a color to this blue line that you said you cannot see. Let me try to put a color to it briefly. It does not allow me, but I'll just do some. I'll try to make it happen. Can you see it briefly? Can you see it now? Can you see the brown line? I believe you saw that line now, sir. Okay, so that shows that there's a divergence in this case. So 4 out of our 5 conditions have been met. And it means the whole 5 has been met. I can tell you that in a very short time, this market is going to deliver for us. So You can still take this trade NZD card. You can take this day, this trade, and this is a buy market. Now, when you want to make your decision about taking the trade, you see that they have an entry price there, but you don't need this entry price no more. The only time you needed the entry price was to decide if you can continue considering the conditions to take this trade. And we have seen that the candle on D touched or crossed the entry line. So we don't need it anymore. Now, right now, what you do is to take an instant market buy, and your target is to make just 10 pips out of this market, just 10 pips. So if you click your instant market buy, it's going to give you your own